it's Angie. Thank you for coming and joining me. Today I am going to be doing a quick little tutorial on a paper clip. There have been a couple of you asking for a paper clip tutorial. I don't know how different it's going to be from the one that we kind of put together yesterday, but I thought I'd look at my things and go from there. So this is, I put a little bit of thought to it, but who knows if that's what it'll end up being. When I was rummaging through stuff, I actually came across this. This was a skin that I did, I don't know, quite a long time ago. So you have to take a fresh leaf. You can't use well, you can try it, but you'll probably have trouble if you use a dried out leaf. Anyways, you put the resin on that. I'm not sure if I used the UV resin or just the 24-hour resin, but you could try it both ways. But what you do is just coat it, and then when it's cured, you just pull it off, and so you kind of have a skin of a leaf. So I thought that was really cool. Sometimes when your mats aren't glossy or super shiny, you'll get this murky look to it, and I'll kind of show you how you can get more of a transparency look if that happens to you. With these little speech bubbles, we did get the clear, it was clear all the way through and not murky. If you can see those, you can see my hand right through those, or my fingers. But I do have a little trick that kind of works, how to get rid of that murkiness if you want more of a transparent look. I do know if you use a mat that is super shiny or glossy, it will take on that texture. But like I said, those little bubbles seem to work out fine. This one came out murky. You can see that. And I saved half of it to show you what I did, but you can kind of see, let's see if we put something behind here. You can kind of see where you can't see all the ways through it. So it's murky on one half and clear on the other, or clearer. So I saved this half so I could show you what I used. Okay, so I think I looked through everything, and this will be fun to use one time. I'm glad I came across that, and I'm going to have to make more of these because that was fun. I just thought I'd show you that. Got some crumbs. Okay, so this is just my sample tag, and then so I can show you when we put it on. So I think I'm going to use this, and I was kind of looking, possibly these, looking for dangles. And then we need some jump rings. So I'm going to, like I said, make this a dangle like I do on some of my paper clips. I call them hidden paper clips. They're just hidden in the back, but you can also go one step further and hide the paper clip even more as a true hidden paper clip. So this is one of Tracy's digitals. It was her Creep on June, July, one of her digitals from there. So I've always liked this lady. I haven't used her in a long time, so I thought this would kind of be perfect. I thought maybe we could just layer this up with this behind her or something. And I did drill. You do have to have a regular little, I have a really cool Dremel. It's handheld, cordless. I absolutely love this. You do have to drill. You can't just poke holes through resin. So, and especially if it's thick, that's pretty thick. So you'll want to drill your 2 holes. And then to get rid of that mercury or that murky look, that fogginess. Sorry guys. See that fogginess there? You're just going to use clear nail polish. That's it. Right? You could probably try glossy accents too, since that's a clear. This one kind of goes on a little bit smoother without many brush strokes in it. Sometimes you'll get brush strokes if you try the glossy accents. I have used it. I think I remember it did add a little bit of brush strokes to it, and this one seems to dry more level without brush strokes. Kind of go over that one as well again. Okay, so you want to let that dry. So yeah, that's that brand, top coat. That just helps it become more clear. It looks like that. Okay, so I'll just let that dry really quick. And then I'm just going to build up the layers. That's all I do. I just play with, I mean, you could make a ton of these and then store them away. That's what's nice about these. You don't have to, you know, have a big storage. They don't need a lot of storage. And I pulled out some needle and thread, your paper clip, and some cheesecloth, some fabric. So this is this is a paper towel, and it dried up in some old coffee that I had set in like a little tin, and it just dried up in it. And I thought I liked it. So some threads, netting, just different types of textures. So sometimes so we don't want to get rid of all that. So maybe I'll go with this first. And then you're going to have your hot glue gun heating up. And then I kind of just put everything together. We might have to cut that a little bit since this little piece is short. Some scissors. And sometimes I'll bunch stuff up, like I prefer not having things like straight. Sometimes, you know, that's the way it ends up, but if I can, if I have a long piece, instead of cutting it, I'll kind of just bunch it up so it just adds texture and just a different kind of layer. I'm always just looking at the composition. And like I said, I'll just hot glue it like a dab just to keep the layers together. Like I said, I always add different textures, like a netting and then a piece of fabric. And it doesn't have to peek out completely. And sometimes, like I said, I will sew a running stitch down here if I have my sewing machine out. If I've got a ton of layers and it's not all netting and I need my hot glue to get into all those, sometimes I'll just hot glue half of it and then do a running stitch. Or just do a running stitch with the whole thing together. Kind of want that paper to see a little bit more. So yeah, it's all about creating layers. Okay. And you can, like I said, you can whip stitch this by hand too. So you don't have to, you know, hot glue it if you don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna put these together and then I'll be right back. So I'm just going to either whip stitch or just get my hot glue gun and put those together, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I didn't do anything that I said I wasn't going to do. The only thing I did do was just I changed out the back for that really gritty one that I showed you how we use the gritty paste. I put the desert sand in it, and then that was it. So everything is exactly the same except for that back. This paper it wasn't long enough, so As much as I loved it, it just wasn't working out. And all I did was I just put a very little tiny dab of hot glue just to keep everything together. This one is actually still on its own, so it's just staying there. But anyways, that's all I did. And then the other thing I did, I wasn't going to do this on camera because it's cold out, and I didn't want to open my window. And so I went outside and did this really quick. I also have a fan that takes the fumes away, but it's loud. So anyway, so I'm just going to tell you what I did. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I wanted to dome this up a little bit, like, you know, give it some more thickness. So all I did was take my resin, and then I take the nozzle and I let it come out, and then I kind of just push it around. It's self-leveling. Yeah, and then make sure that there isn't any spots I didn't miss. And then I just take the flashlight, the black light, and cure it. So I domed that up, and then I also did the back as well. I put a layer on the back. So there I mean, if you could use the clear nail polish, but I also wanted to add to some, I thought the doming would just give it another, like, dimension. It was a little bit kind of flat looking. And you could do that, like, if it's not cured all the way, and you're getting fingerprints on it, that's just one way to get your fingerprints on there. Just put another layer of resin on it. So I don't dome it up where it's like, you don't want to do it where it's pulling off the side. I start in the middle and I work my way out the nozzle to the edges, and then it kind of just self-levels. But I mean, if you tip it like this and you're trying to cure it, you're gonna have some drips, which might be kind of cool. You might catch it and it'll cure it while it's dripping. That might be neat too. So I don't know, experiment if you want to use resin. So we're just going to continue this. I also tore off the bottom of her little dress there. So, and I'm just trying to position this. And I'll probably put a little dab of hot glue again just to keep that. You don't want to put too much hot glue, because if you are going to use a needle and thread, good luck getting that through there because it's going to be miserable. So I always try to be careful with the hot glue if I know I'm going to be using a thread needle. And then after I'm done, I'll secure everything. After I'm done with the needle, I will go back and secure that in there with hot glue and stuff like that. I'm not sewing anything yet. I'm just using the tip of the needle here to move these strings around. Okay. Feel free to fast forward in these parts. We're just trying to do this in real time for you guys. I think I'll add this on top. So I think that's where I'm going with this. It's really cool. Kind of magnifies a lady in the back, in the front. Or the lady in the layer. First, I think I should, so get a jump ring. These are what jump rings look like. You can get them at the jewelry aisle. Joann's, Michael's. Some people call them split rings, jump rings. What you want to do, I don't know you know, not everybody knows how to open a jump ring, so it's just side to side. 2 pliers. I'll see, that's the top. Oh gosh. All right. Okay, there we're going to add the crystal. This is a quartz crystal. And I just did a wire wrap on the top of that. So then you just close it back, and then just close it back, and they'll come together. So there, you have this really cool little dangle on there. And then, so you want to do that first. You're going to add a dangle, because it'll be hard for you after we sew it down to get that dangle through. So you don't want to make things harder for yourself. Okay. I'll probably put a dab of hot glue on her as well, just to keep her in place. But first, I want to make sure, because you want to have some space up here to get your needle through. So I'm just going to, because we still are going to sew on our paper clip, so we want to be careful with the hot glue, like I said. I kind of pulled it. Okay, I don't want to fuss with this too much. So everything's just lightly tacked down. Then you're going to put on your second layer, or your last layer, I guess. And then you're just going to put a stitch through it. I'm going to put some gloves on because I don't want to, the resin's here, but sometimes it can be just a little fingerprints, and I don't want any fingerprints on this, so I'm just going to use my gloves. Okay. So I think right there looks good. I'm going to go through the back. Like I said, this this might be fun. Then you're just going to come over the top and do a whip stitch. Come through the same hole. And then you're just going to whip stitch this on. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this around, come down, and then catch that hole, whip stitch it, and then I'll be right back. So all I did was just whip stitch that up on the top, brought it down, brought it through, and whip stitched it there on the bottom. I went in about 2 to 3 times. Now we're going to attach your paper clip. Make sure you have this facing down so it can slide on. And then we're just going to do the same exact thing. I didn't cut it. I'm just going to bring this through. Put it here maybe. And then do the same thing. So sometimes you get a little pry in here, or sometimes I'll go like behind something we're just trying to attach it, you guys. We're not, you know, just trying to get that safety pin attached. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're just trying to attach that. And sometimes if it's too hard to get, some of these mediums are thick. Like I said, I thought this might be fun to do. It'll be fun to have a little bit of thread on her dress there. Let's pull this through here. So that's what we're doing. We're going to do a couple whip stitches through there, bring it back, come back up, and then do a couple whip stitches there. So when I'm done with that, we will attach the piece of back fabric, and then we'll see how it looks on the tag. All right, be right back. Okay, we are back. We got everything stitched on. So here we are really quick. And then you're going to turn it over, and then you're going to get a piece of fabric, and all you're going to do is just shimmy it up. So you're just going to get between the 2 pieces of paper clip, and you're just going to shimmy your way up to the top here. So we whip stitched down here, and then whip stitched up here and down here. We went through the front, through the back, through the front, through the back, like 2 or 3. You're just trying to attach this. We're going to hot glue it as well, but it's just an extra secure. You're just going to shimmy that way, or shimmy this little piece of fabric. You can use whatever you want on the back. You can see how it, if you don't like it, how it hangs in the front. You can always snip it a little bit or distress it. So we're just going to turn this around. And then we're just going to hot glue the sides. You can have your piece of fabric stick out on the sides if you want to. That's up to you. Careful, your glue is hot. And then you're just going to glue anywhere, like I said, to reinforce, you know, because we just tacked everything down. Oops. So you're going to find any pieces that need to be hot glued and then just secure that. I fiddle with mine sometimes. You can go further with this. You can put like maybe if you wanted to put more, but I think we'll stop here. Yeah, so there is that. So let's see how it looks on a tag. So here's the tag. It looks really neat actually on this tag. And then you just pop it on here. Sorry guys, just pop it on here. There you go. You can have it further down or up. I love that crystal on there. I think it looks really cool. And then I have a gutted book here. So if you were to put it on a page, come up like this. Or, you know, your page is down here and you can just have it raised up a little bit. Looks really neat on there. There it is, you guys. Here's the paper clip that I came up with using my skins. I hope you really enjoyed these tutorials, and I do want to do a quick apology. Somehow, you know, I'm recording off my phone now exclusively, and I'm mirroring it off my Mac over here so I can try to stay in frame. So I've almost got it down, you guys. But for some reason, 10 minutes of the video didn't upload. I don't know what happened. I was able to find it and then upload it as a part 2. So if you are interested in making these, please go back and watch part 1 and part 2 of how to make my take on making a skin for mixed media layering. So if you're interested in that, these are some of the ones that we've created, and this is really cool. It's fun. Anyways, we made all kinds of skin with all kinds of mediums. There's a whole line of mediums out there. If you get these silicone mats, everything's super simple to pill up. Even these really papery textured ones pill up really nice. I've got a ton more texture stuff. I don't know, you could take this a step further. You could do a lot different. You can hang different things. I love crystals. I also do jewelry. I also have copper paint. You could hit it with some little bit of copper paint or silver paint or pewter on the edges just to separate that a little bit if you want to. Something I might do later on. Like I said, you just keep going all day with these guys. I really appreciate all the comments. You guys, your support means everything. I hope you're enjoying these little tiny tutorials. They're more about my embellishes more than anything. Because you know, when I do make journals, they do take a long time, you guys. They really, really do. I'm not a quick artist because I'm always changing my mind, as you can kind of tell if you're getting to learn how I work. I'm always shifting and changing, and that's how these are. You know, I've gotten asked, how do you come up with these ideas? A lot of these ideas just come up as I'm creating something, and that's just how I work. So a lot of these things I don't sit and try to dream up. They happen on, you know, as I'm working. So I really do appreciate everybody supporting and encourage me on my channel. So anyways, I hope you'll give these a go. If you do, tag me if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. I like supporting your channel as well. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Bye-bye, guys.